Many of you know, I recently received certification from the state of Virginia to start a nonprofit corporation. And that nonprofit corporation is called Achievement Square Development and Training Centers Incorporated. Now, I'm going through the process of getting 501c3 status, which is tax exempt. But what I've noticed is that a lot of people, they really don't understand what this corporation is all about. They don't understand because it's an abstract concept. I mean, anytime you create something from the ground up, it's very abstract. And I'm considered some people would consider me a social entrepreneur because what I'm doing is I've created something that's going to target low-income, first-generation students, and the whole purpose is to touch them or help them become better or go from better to great in the areas of nurturing, the area of learning, the area of working, and the area of leading. So those are the 4 areas that I want to talk to you about today. Because a lot of times, I want to pretty much explain my rationale for creating a nonprofit that touches on those 4 areas. So the first area is nurture. And what I want you to really know about nurture or nurturing is that parental warmth is crucial to a child's well-being. I'm a parent of a 13-year-old. I've been, for pretty much 10 of his 13 years, I've been his stay-at-home parent. I got to a point where, and I realized that the things that I have sowed into him have allowed him to be the person he is today. My son is an honor roll student. My wife and I, we actually provide that warmth for him. We provide that nurturing for him. I mean, when he was very young, we changed his diapers. We did everything we could do to, entertain him. But also, we read to him and did the things that parents need to do to really encourage their children to develop into, actually go from better to great, because that's very important. So nurturing is that first area, and as we have parents in here, you know what I'm talking about. You can relate. So nurturing is really one of the reasons why I started this nonprofit, because parental warmth is crucial to child well-being. Some things I want to say about that is loving parents, they alter neural circuits in a child's brain. And studies have shown that there is a strong biological link between negative early life experiences and poor health later in life. So the love that child gets at a very early age really sets the stage for what's going to happen later on in that child's life. The second area is learning. Now, learning, when we talk about learning or speak about learning, what I'm talking about is lower high school graduation rates mean low-income students are likely to remain low-income. And what that means is that we have a lot of low-income students. Like 45% of the students that attend schools are low-income. I mean, that's what studies have shown. But what you don't know is that those early, if that child remains low income, comes from a low income background, a lot of times they're adopting things or behaviors that, well, not behaviors, but studies have shown that they have low graduation rates. And those low graduation rates, really kind of set the stage for what happens to them later on in life. But it also means that those low-income students are going to be low-income. They're going to remain low-income. So what we have to do, and what my corporation is committed to doing, is providing the kind of instruction that these kids need to move from or go from better to great, but also go from low-income to high-income. Many of you may not know this, but I used to be an upward bound director, and that's really one of the reasons why I chose to create a corporation that was committed to low-income students. I also come from a background where I was a low-income student. Now, we didn't have anything like upward bound in my area, But if we had upper bound, I would have been one of the students that was in that. But see, my upper bound program up in Massachusetts, we served 70 kids. And the whole goal was to get them to become better or move from better to great. And they did that. I would say 99.9% of my kids went off to great colleges like Princeton, Yale. We was up in Massachusetts, so you had a lot of great schools up there. And the kids, they got a lot of them. I got a chance to go back last year to a reunion, and I got a chance to really kind of connect with my former students and just see how much they have progressed. And it just brought a smile to my face because it's kind of like a parent. When you see your child graduate from high school, they go off to college, and they graduate again, you know, you have this sense of satisfaction. You know that you didn't do the work, they did the work, but you sowed a seed inside of them that really gave them that encouragement, that motivation to go from better to great. The third area that Achievement Square is focused on is work. Now, what you need to know about work is this. Entrepreneurship is a key to escaping poverty. I was looking at reading some reports from CNN and I believe Time, and they indicated that in China and also Japan, they have done some things to where they have freed up the market to where more people can become entrepreneurs. If you have a passion for something, you can actually monetize it and turn it into something that is great. And that's what's going on in China and Japan. But here in the United States, we have pretty much have the same thing, and we're free to start businesses because if I wasn't free to start a business, or if we weren't free to start a business, I would not have created Achievement Square. But what we have to realize or recognize is that entrepreneurship is the key to escaping poverty. And what I want to do with Achievement Square is I want to make sure that these kids know that if you have a bright idea or if you have a passion about something, you can monetize that. You can turn it into a business, make money. If you have the ingenuity to create a product, you can create a product. Or if you provide a service, you can provide a service. And those are the things that we want to do is help young people understand what it takes to start and operate a business. And we've actually identified a vendor, it's the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship, and they produce curriculum that you can actually teach your students. And that's what we're going to be doing in the future, is taking our students, which we're going to be serving 64 students. We're going to take them through this curriculum, and that's in addition to some of the other lessons they're going to receive as well. And the last area, the final area, is leading. And what you need to understand about leading is there's a need for social influence. And there's this new concept called social entrepreneurship. And what that means is that instead of profits or being focused on profit, you're focused on value. How much value do you add to the community? And that's really what we want to do, is make sure that these young people understand that it's all about adding value to the community. And we want them to understand what philanthropy really means, what it means to give of your time, your talent, and your treasure. We also want to, and help them see that by creating what we call giving circles. Now, young people, they don't have a lot of money, unless they have a job or a job. But what we want to do is just make sure that they understand that they can take their money, put it in a pool, and they can give mini grants to different nonprofits in the area. And see, this is a skill, or this is something they have to learn at a very early age, because as they get older, we want to make sure that we're not producing kids who are selfish, indecent, or just don't know what it means to give back or give of their time, talent, and treasure. And that's really what the mark of a leader is. You're concerned about the least of these. And what we want to do is we want to produce young people who are really concerned about the least of these. If we're not doing that, I'm trying to do that with my 13-year-old son, but I also want to extend that out to other kids in the area, especially low-income kids who, a lot of times they attach their situation onto their parents' poverty. And what we have to do is we got to make sure they understand that you're not part of their poverty. You may be living in poverty in the context that your parents have placed you in, but at the same time, that is not your future. You have to, do certain things. You got to get an education. You got to go to college, military, trade school, whatever, and do those little things that you need to do to make a better life for yourself. And like I said, move from better to great. And that's really what Achievement Square is all about. It's all about moving young people, middle school and high school students, getting them to understand what it means to move from better to great. And we're not just exclusive to young people, we're also going to be exclusive to adults as well. And I'm still working on that. But the first 5 years that my corporation is going to be in existence is going to be focused on young people. Thank you.